God is faithful. I knew that things were true about God, even in the midst of my circumstances. And that's all I could cling to. So I wanted the colors of the world that God made to be the one solid things a kid could cling to. And that's where the book started. The truth of who God is, the colors of the things he created to be the one thing the kid could look to and then trust in. And that's what I started to do. I just started praying, and I have book and Bible verses, so it had to start with scripture. So every color, actually, I had to find a verse that I had to start with, because it has to be scripture. I don't do anything without scripture. And that's where it began. That's where the journey began. And I had to face some really hard stuff. Every color took me on a little journey of its own. So those little 4 lines for that one page, it was almost like writing a little book of its own. It was kind of difficult, and it became kind of like a little spiritual journey of its own on each color. I want to read the gray, and this is written in rhyming couplets, which I that was a hard thing to learn in itself. Um, is love gray like a squirrel snoozing high in a tree, or like a chinchilla with fur soft as can be? Gray makes me feel hopeful because God controls when lightning bolts strike and when loud thunder rolls. Gray to me was for that moment. And that came when I pray a lot when I write, and I'm going to see if I can show you the image. I don't know if you can really see the image. I don't think
Not
it can do it
much. Yeah.
justice. You can probably don't do it justice, but it's an image of a little boy. And he's got this dark storm with the lightning bolt striking, and he's with his finger drawing a smiley face on the window. And Darshika Varma did that. And I didn't tell her to do that. She just came up with this on her own. He's
That's
in a blanket. Yeah.
the
And
illustrator.
the illustrator, Darshika Varma. And what you don't know is that this character throughout the book, he is a character who has a prosthetic leg. I do a lot. I told her I wanted kids with disabilities and kids without disabilities to be playing together. So it's not a story about kids with disabilities, but in the world, I want people to know children with disabilities and children without disabilities, we are valuable together. We are better together. So this little boy is here, and he's painting a smiley face because I want kids to see that God is in control, even when things are scary, even when things are gray, even when things you think would be you know, maybe not so hopeful. God is the God of hope. And because he's in control, we can have hope. And so gray, I wanted to turn it around. I wanted to use those colors that were often seen as negative to be seen as something good, to look at God's character and lean on him and his character. And then we turn our real emotions and say, oh, because God is, I can be hopeful. Because God is this, I can be this. And so that's why those colors are there. The black turns to God is with me, so I can be brave. God is with green, your favorite color. The kids are helping each other. You know, God is, I can be confident because, this is who God is. So yeah, that's what I tried to do with
You
each
know,
color.
as I'm listening to you, my thing is more words or maybe spices, so
Yes,
you're
yes,
talking about colors, and I'm thinking more maybe flavors or words.
yes.
And so in some ways it's like all of these colors are the words on the page, but the gray is the pause.
Ooh, I like that.
It's that blank, that
Yes.
moment of silence, that
Mm,
pause. Maybe in the meal that has a lot of spices, it's the pause between the
I
food,
like that. I
between
like
the
that.
bites,
I
because
like
it's
that.
what it provides, the context that allows all the other colors to shine.
Wow.
But they're necessary. The gray is just as necessary. And in the
Oh,
same way,
yes.
each one of us, whatever our skin color, whatever our disability, we all have a form of disability in
Yes.
one way or another, I believe,
Yes.
visible or not.
Yes.
They're
Yes.
all necessary to one another.